We're a family of 5 who've left the UK behind and bought a farmhouse deep in rural Bulgaria. Out here the weather is extreme. Summers hit 45 degrees and winters can drop to minus 25. And in this old farmhouse, it feels every single degree. Since winter arrived, the house has been taking a real beating. Cracks have started appearing and one of them runs straight through the building from the inside to the outside. When we stripped it back, we realised the problem was far worse than we ever imagined. Today, we're heading back to the local hardware store, loading up on blankets and insulation and doing everything we can do to keep the cold out. But with problem after problem appearing, can we actually stay warm in our uninsulated Bulgarian farmhouse? Or is this breaking point? It is absolutely freezing when you're out in the countryside. Oh, that worked. When you're out in the countryside, there's nothing better than hearing the trees blowing in the wind. It is beautiful. And in the mornings you can go for walks and the sun's up and the mornings are crisp and all you hear are the trees just blowing in the background. It's like being at a beach and hearing that sound. It's very soothing. It's very nice. I've heard that molehills, the mud from the molehills, are very good for seedling. So we have a little mole that loves to dig. And so I'm going to go and collect some of that mud right now. We also have the horse that comes down this path every day and he poos everywhere, which also is great fertilizer. So let me grab my bucket and spade. There we go. This is supposed to be really good for seedling. Probably the coldest part of this farmhouse, right?
Definitely.
And there's no insulation. The extension that was done wasn't really done properly. They've done an external kind of foam insulation and then covered it with a very slim, thin amount of...
It's like a plaster mix. It's covered with foam.
We've got to get on and get this small space transformed into a space that is insulated and then renovated to be a space that we can actually use. And what we're thinking of is making it into a pantry.
Yeah, what's a pantry?
Somewhere that has shelves where we can put our canned food, which a lot of Bulgarians do, by the way.
Pantry sounds very posh, doesn't it?
I know.
But anyway, yes, okay, whatever that is, pantry.
Right, so we have discovered a massive crack in this area, and that is probably what's letting in a lot of air.
That is what is letting in a lot of air in the coldest. This is a big problem, and it's behind the washing machine. So we've got to move the washing machine. Even now I've got my hand there, I can feel the cold coming in.
So the first thing we're going to do is completely strip this small space I'll bring you guys in here in a minute, but it is so small, there's no point in us actually bringing you in until we show you the whole space. So we're going to strip everything down in here and clear it all. The only thing that we can't strip out is the sink, because we still do need that. But apart from that, the washing machine, the cupboards and everything will be out. And then Chris can get access to the crack, which is literally, it is literally going from inside the house to outside. You can look through the crack in the wall.
Yeah, definitely. And then on the outside, they've not put any plaster on the outside. So normally you put bricks and then you plaster it. They've not done any of that. So it's plastered on one side, which is inside, which is grateful enough. But clearly, the inside plaster is now, over the years, has cracked.
Is it all over for this farmhouse, or is it fixable, Chris?
It should be fixable with me at the tools.
Okay, right. So let's get cracking and let's clear this room. See that a lot of things just weren't done right in this room. There's cracks all along there. They've used expanding foam behind there. Obviously that's going to have to be sorted. This is wood. It's falling away, that is. And then there's this crack all the way down here. I'm going to take this out in a minute. This is not good. Oh, just so you guys know, these were the soaps that Chris was talking about that we found. Well, not these particular ones, but soaps for like these was what Chris found in the attic. Something that I'd love to get to know how to do. These, I don't know if they're goat milk soap, but they are natural soaps. Hasn't damaged it.
No. Didn't damage the washing machine.
That's all I'm concerned with.
I've lost a leg, but the washing machine's okay.
Insulation was like non-existent. They've done something outside, but it just isn't keeping the heat. So all the heat in the property on the lower floor is literally going through here and going out. We're going to reconsider how to do this, but for now we can make it work, make this space work for us.
Yeah. As
storage for, you know, food, canned food, and any other things that we may need in this area. Well above my head, but I'm going to see how it goes. I'm not a builder. This is like something I do not consider as my occupation. It's more hazard occupation, but it's going to be different. So I can cut wood and stuff, but this is like, I've got a bit of electrics to do. I've got to move these switches out. Never done that before. The water heater, whatever that is, I don't know what that is. There's some dodgy wine there. I'm scared to touch it, but I'm gonna have to. And pull all that out at some point to then insulate it and then board. But I did this temporarily when we bought the house because there was just a slight crack down the wall and there was wind literally coming through here. I am technically standing outside of the original property. This would have been the original outside wall. It's solid. This wall is thick. I mean, it's a good 2 foot thick. So this wall is built solid. This is the outside extension. So from here onwards, this is when I'm technically outside in this new extension. What they've done, they've not built this properly because clearly there's a gap between the house and the extension, not all the way down. You can literally see there's a gap there and see outside. So
I'm going to try and inject as much cement in there as I can, seal this all up, and then make sure it's all done. Dig out any cracks and make them loose so I can then fill them. So I'll create a crevice and fill them so they're not going to reappear again. A lot of it is movement, but a lot of it is just poor building quality. The actual house itself is solid, so I'm not worried about that.
What are these big things? Like that seems massive.
What's that?
These.
Again, that's part of the extension, because this part is the original house. There would have been probably just a brick wall here, no door. They've opened it up after they've done the extension and made it part of the house. This is where the extension, where you see the green, that's where the extension this way joins onto the original house. And they've just not done it properly. They've not cemented it and built that onto the house. This is solid, what, 3-inch concrete, this bit of roof. So that is solid, it's not leaking, there's nothing like that. So it's just, they've done it as effective as they can. I won't say cheap, as effective they could at the time. And hats off to them, they've done a good job. They probably did it themselves. But we need to sort this out because it's not helping us right now. And this bit, I need to pull down. This is going to be exciting. So I want to see how good or how bad it is underneath. I'm going to focus on this side and then try and make this side nice. Try and work out, I'm not going to touch it, what this bare raw wires, what are live there. They're not live because they work the water heater. So I've got to try and work out which wires, which, move this off the wall, move this socket off the wall, rewire new sockets on there, and then obviously cement the wall and then insulate it, and hopefully last but not least put an OSB board on there, and then that should insulate. This is the outside wall, not this one. Once it's got the insulation on it, it should be, I mean, it's cold to touch at the moment, but it's not as cold as it was last night. At the moment outside is not too bad, but this is all going to get colder. The heat's coming in here and it's just taken away from the concrete. That is freezing.
And that's wet.
That's free, that's condensation from washing machine. So we're gonna have to deal with that. But this concrete is eating the heat. And then you got this one with wind blowing through there, it's not gonna work. Right, so checking for any infestations of anything. No, I don't think that's, don't think it is. No, I think it might be dirt.
Yeah.
If it was, it would be more evident. There's no match in here. Right, so guys, if I get this torch from there, you can see down there's a crack going out. You can see that is not holding anything at the moment. There you go. That was my boss job, thinking these little cracks weren't going to get bigger, and it's got bigger. So yeah, I've got to fill all that in, remove all that, use the right cement because I didn't have the right cement last time. I'm going to start off the bottom and work my way up because this area is the biggest point of concern. You can see if I get a tool, I can put, see look, that's gone right in there between the bricks. So, and that is going out to outside. I'll show you in the video where it goes to actually, it's quite interesting. But yeah, so that is a big problem. Look, nice going through. So yeah, so I'm going to do that, seal that up first, stop the cold coming in because that's the area where it's coming in all the way down there, and then I'll work my way up because there's a lot of work. So yeah, there you go.
As you do what you're doing, just turn it off and on, yeah?
Yeah, stop it now. I was just talking to my loving family that I love this job so much. I'm not lying. Yeah, I love this job so much. Fixing walls, moving poo-poo from cesspits, and looking after a roadman dog. Building work is not my thing. I'm just going to fill this area. I'm not going to go too mad. I'm going to clean out all this foam, clean it all out, fill in all this area. I'm not going to go too mad and start taking it all out because that's defeating the whole object of what we're doing. And that is gone. Look at that. That's gone. Alright guys, so this is my, I won't say first time plastering, but doing cementing of this kind of scale is my first time. The cement we're using is Kerrysit. Kerrysit CM16. You can get it at most hardware stores in Bulgaria. I mean, almost everywhere sells cement, on every town and every village in Bulgaria. There's a hardware store that sells cement. So I'm using Kerrysit cement. It's a very good popular cement over here. Not too expensive, 8-9 lev. It's early in the morning, I'm back in this pantry. Celine removed a cupboard off there, and behind here I forgot there was a continual crack down there. This corner is letting cold air in. The wind has blown through that crack there on the extension. Probably can't see it, there's a bit of condensation on there, some water bleeding on there as well. There's definitely cold air coming in through that corner. There's also a crack going along there. And it's mainly plaster. It's not really the building, it's mainly the plaster that's cracking, not the building. So I'm going to dig all that out. And also this bit going across there. And then I'm going to give it a quick cement just to tighten it all up. And then we'll decide what we're going to do with that. I've done that. I've goured up the cracks, filled it with cement. There's no drafts in it at all. It's actually quite warm. The heater's out there. I think we've found the areas what need doing. So yeah, going to move on to the next job. See the next part of this renovation of this pantry